Alright, here we go. This is game 2 of Eddnamed versus Turkleton for Tipsy 3000's February 1v1 Iron Man ladder. And this is going to be on Thar. Same mechs as last time. Neo and Green Sea Bomber. Ed going with one lunchbox. Does not look like Turkleton has a lunchbox. And the big difference here is Turk has Longhorn and Ed has Dillos. And Dillos are kind of the spammy thing right now. They do go down quickly to Bomber, but because Ed is a Bomber, I guess maybe that's why Turk decided to go with Longhorn. Ed going straight for the defense, and Turkleton going straight for the scout, I guess. Sees Ed, tries to intercept him. And does take down these Longhorn because he was able to take down Eddnamed just there. But Turkleton low on life. Ed trying to bait him. Oh, but Turkleton with the level up will be able to get away, and actually is chasing down Ed right now. Ed gives up on that first moneymaker, and Turkleton, great Seeker Q and drop here, preventing Eddnamed from being on one of the sides, and he does get the EMP and fire off there. And Turkleton is going for Longhorn, well, not long, but like he is pushing his Longhorn to mid. And Ed is, whoa, almost there. But he does take this top, but the thing about this area is that because of these 3 T99, once you take it, it needs to be, the neutrals need to be taken care of very quickly. And Turkleton does see that Ed has this top outpost, and does come to try to take, I don't know, just to take a look at it and do whatever harass he can, but Ed does have this lockdown pretty well with a lot of armadillo here. He has no anti-air over here, though. That's the only thing. Ed hasn't really been making anti-air, and he did have hats in his loadout last game, and I'm pretty sure he did not change that for this game, just because Neos are so hard to hit with Seekers. So you typically go with hat against a Neo. But Ed is in a dogfight right here with a Neo, and it is a little dangerous, especially if you're a Bomber. And Turkleton has a lot of, well, he has a good amount of tanks over here, and did finish clearing off the neutrals. Has probes and Q, will eventually take that mid, but Ed has this top outpost locked down. There are Seekers. Oh, he did go with Seekers instead of hats this time. Hats are so expensive. Ed putting down a Dillo for base defense, but Turkleton going straight for this moneymaker, and Ed does pick it up, and Turkleton has to retreat there, because there really wasn't anything he probably would have been able to kill, especially with Ed there. But the big difference here, Ed has not claimed his top base, but Turkleton did get his bottom, so he is definitely one outpost ahead. Ed finally takes this, but there are still 3 Jackals here, and these Jackals will neutralize this base extremely fast. And it does go down. Turkleton sending a lot of Longhorn here to Ed's left side base. And he does do the EMP. Eddnamed will try to get away here, but Turkleton will easily chase him down. Eddnamed with the Viking dance, and Turkleton with a great EMP does finish Eddnamed off right there. And Neo very OP here, especially when there's a good user. And there are a crap load of tanks surrounding that left base on Eddnamed's side of the map. And Turkleton bringing probes will completely, will finish claiming it under his control. And there are too many tanks here for anything to be really dropped. Ed bringing 2 Dillos over here. Turkleton does see it, but will not be able to take him down in time. But drops the Longhorn. It looks like he did pick up that moneymaker, and oh, Ed, but Ed gets once again caught by that EMP. It is so difficult to avoid that when there is a great Neo user just with great timing. And Ed already losing both closest outposts before quarter 1 is even over. And Ed trying to deal with these 4 Longhorn and 1 Seeker, and he does go down again. It is very difficult to deal with... well, it's very difficult to deal with Turkleton, let's put it that way. And Turkleton going for a base push. And there are a lot of Longhorn here. There is only... Okay, now 3 Armadillo down. Ed has more queued up, but there's only 3 Armadillo and 1 Seeker at the moment. And Longhorn are coming for his base. So it's just crazy that that's hard to deal with. Ed can land on the low ground. Instead, he is bombing. And he does take out a good amount of these Longhorn. There are none left for that initial push. Turkleton is almost dead. Eddnamed does not try to chase him out, but cleans up the rest of these Longhorn coming in. Turkleton going for the top now, and Ed does see that. Oh, but Turkleton does claim it, and Ed is not able to finish him off with that hover stalk thing right there, but does get back to his base before he gets taken down. And Ed going for Turkleton's right side. But Turkleton has 3 Longhorn over here, drops again with the EMP, drops with the defensive probes, and Eddnamed is trying to get to his base, but does not make it. Wow. Turkleton with amazing map awareness, which also comes with complete map control. When you have complete map control, it's just really hard for the opponent to kind of get anything by you, especially on Thar, because the outposts are so spread out, and it gives you a lot of vision. If you look at the mini-map right now, this is the vision that Turkleton has. If Ed goes into any of those spaces, that he will see him, and he can't really slip by. And he is going with a kind of small Armadillo push right now. He has 4 more in queue. He is not bringing them out yet. He's kind of, I guess he's kind of splitting them up. Oh, he is going for that close, which Turkleton sent all of those Longhorn out. So there really isn't much left here, but that EMP is so effective in slowing down, and it deals a little bit of damage also. And Eddnamed splitting, trying to split his attention, but with only 2 Dillos here, it's not going to be that effective. And Eddnamed almost goes down. Turkleton does get him to get finished off by what was that? I guess a creep. And Turkleton just locking down that top base and killing these creeps so effectively, getting a lot of EXP. Ed has a pretty good surround, but once again with Armadillo, and Turkleton has like kind of pretty much the same amount in Longhorn, which is crazy. Someone's at the door. Ed had to go get the door. I'm assuming he didn't really have much hope for this anyway, because he's been so frustrated this series. And he is just AFK right now. Yeah. And Turkleton going for... Is he going to go for the island? He is going for the island. He really just needs to leave a couple tanks there, and they pretty much will take care of it. Dum-de-dum, dum-de-dum. And Ed is still just AFK, which is okay. Turkleton coming with the probes. There are none of the Jackals taken down yet. One is... Ed still has not come back. And gonna take care of the last Jackals. Gonna retrieve the probes. And now he has this outpost. And Turkleton just making moneymakers. Gonna get more units. Ed's still not back. Doody-doo. Filling all the sockets. And now Ed finally comes back with the sigh. And Ed taking a look around, bombing. You know, Turkleton sees him right away, and with that Neo zips over super quick. But he did kill a Longhorn. It did kill Longhorn with those bombs. This pretty much his last salvation, this outpost, this top outpost, top right. And he is going with an armadillo push. And Turkleton queuing up the Longhorn and grinders. These grinders will freaking eat these dillos so fast. It's like a grinder touches a dillo and it explodes. And they're just coming in. It's like a shooting gallery for these Longhorn, really. Ed probably should have blocked the bridge before, just so he could have gotten more of a mass of units versus a single file conga line. He's trying to get whatever damage he can, but you know, takes too much damage, and Turkleton takes him down before he is able to get away. And once again, a big clump of units in here, not being that effective. Probably one or two at the most of Turkleton's units getting killed. But I guess that does sort of give Ed an opening to go for this outpost. And Turkleton sees it very quickly and does come to respond. 1, 2. No. Does not get taken yet. And the Longhorn is firing at it, but Turkleton does come back. This base does go to Eddnamed. And he has a few dillos in queue to be able to drop and defend. He now has control of his closest. But this top outpost did go to Turkleton. And Turkleton finally going... Oh, wow, he has a lot of... he is level 9 already. Drops a Longhorn right there. And Eddnamed is going to go back to respond. It's probably not set to attack. Oh, it is set to attack. I kind of would... Oh, whoa. Ed almost sinks into the abyss that is that Thar glitch. Oh, and he does. I think he has to self-destruct now. No, no. But Turkleton puts a tank over there. I don't think Turkleton realized that Ed is stuck inside Thar. Holy crap. He is inside the mountain. Yes, I'm pretty sure, yeah, his only choice there was to self-destruct. Don't be sad, Ed. You're doing pretty good. Turkleton is ridiculous. He doesn't have a single unit. His upkeep is 63. I mean, he has something out on. He has some stuff out on the field. Turkleton does have more than double the upkeep, though. However, Ed trying to do bombing. It is very dangerous in Thar to do bombing runs against a Neo because the outposts are so far away from each other. And once the Neo sees you, he will chase you down. You probably will not be able to get away from it. And so you have to do quick, short bombing runs. Turkleton dropping the grinder, and yes, Ed slashing it up. Turk does take Ed down. Oh man. Bringing the boomers, and this outpost will go... No, it's going to go for... They are going to go for the Dillo. But I guess the splash damage there took the base neutral? I don't know. Ed with 4 creeps. Where is he going to go? Where's he going to go? This base is actually completely unguarded. Turkleton will come to respond. It takes the Neo like freaking 4 seconds to get there. He is bringing... No. Okay, he is bringing a Longhorn there. No, he is sending them. Wow, what great presence of mind not to just go to respond, but he is sending units over there, which is so effective. He's so far ahead that that's all he really has to do. He can just bring his units wherever they're needed. Or not really bring even, just send them. Ed doing a pretty good job taking care of the Longhorn that were here. There were so many. But Turkleton finishing off... No, did not kill that Dillo. And he does not have anything in queue right now. He has 59,000... Oh, but he has very little power. He is running short on power. And in a 1v1, typically, you do not bring generators. So Ed has Turk's close, and he is going for his base. He is going for his fort. And Turk does do the EMP, but Turk's fort is almost wide open. He has 2 grinders here now. And yeah, all of his defense units are on the side, but Ed has a lot of Dillos here. They will do practically nothing to these grinders, but if Ed can micro them around and get them to start attacking the outpost, he can, or the fort, he can do quite a lot of damage and get Turkleton pretty panicked. Does not continue to micro his units around and only gets about 20% of Turk's life down. And is flying in circles against a Neo is so dangerous, especially a good dogfighting Neo. And Turkleton bringing Longhorn, or, you know, sending Longhorn down here, retaking this base. Ed tries to go for that right in the middle, but he dives into the middle of Seekers there. That is like a death wish. And Ed with no choice but to just continue Dillo spamming, but Turk has such a good foothold on the outposts that he does control now, that he isn't really spread thin. This outpost will go neutral because Turk is just firing into it, and Turk just starts to shoot at Ed, again with the EMP, and just chasing him down, and will eventually get this kill, unless Ed can level up, which he is far from it. And Turkleton will just do another EMP drop, and finish off Ed, chasing him down. And there you go. Oh boy. And Turkleton with another fort push here. He has a good amount of units. And more Longhorn in queue. Ed respawns and has to deal with the his left close being taken. He puts these Dillos down in defense for this fort push, but this time Turkleton has a lot of Seekers and Cloak, so he is able to get away there. Ed putting down more Dillos and drops to the low ground is going to put a lot of freaking damage on these Longhorn, and this once again will not work for Turkleton. But he is going for the left outpost. Once again, Ed's left close, while Ed is distracted by this push. And Ed puts a lot of patchers down. This will salvage and get him a lot of money. But Turkleton is sending to both outposts right now. He's sending to both the left and to the right. And now he does have the left side. Oh yeah, you do, Ed. You have one left. I mean, I don't know for how long, but you have it. It's over there on the right side, the top of the map, the 12 o'clock. Brings high-level creeps, but there are too many Longhorn here, and Turkleton's probably just going to chase him down. He does get back to his fort, though. And right now, Turkleton does have all the outposts. And Ed pretty much has his only option at this point, really, is to try to ninja something or turtle. And if you look at all the map vision that Turkleton has, it's crazy, and he will not probably be able to do a ninja of anything. So if he... Usually at this point, it's either mass and push, or mass and wait for a push and then counter push. But it doesn't look like Turkleton is being too eager to attack. He is very low on power, though. He has -4 at 164 upkeep. And securing his... bunkering these... Okay, Ed is going for... attack. And Turkleton probably doesn't see this yet. He probably doesn't really notice this. Not yet. He does see a bigger line now. But the problem is, once again, it's Dillos versus Longhorn and Grinder. And Turkleton with a great EMP there, hitting so many of those Dillos. But Ed is dropped down here. Kind of goes straight for the tanks and not for the Seeker, but he does not die. Turkleton does go down. Ed is taking... Oh, but Ed goes down to those high-level creeps. Those high-level creeps are so strong. So strong. And Turkleton is now respawning. Has Longhorn, but those other Dillos are going for the main. But there are 2 grinders and a lot of Longhorn here. And once again, in a single file conga line, these Dillos go. And Turkleton isn't even, like, sitting there and waiting to make sure that it's okay. He is just leaving, trying to retake mid. And this outpost is neutral. Ed is just sitting here because he's like, why would I, all the Dillos got eaten up. Okay, he wasn't just sitting there, he was typing. But still, yeah, I mean, you know, just put them behind the bottleneck, which is the bridge, and they will all die. This game is already at overtime 1. That was 100k worth of Dillos. Yeah. It's a long push from from fort to fort on Thar, so it was a kind of a slow drain on that 100k that eventually all got killed. Turkleton not able to save that one, but once again drop to the EMP. Just needs to finish Ed off. Viking dance down. Ed tries to get away, and Turkleton hits him on the way up. Ed once again massing up the armadillos. He does have a lot of credits. There's like 50,000 right now, and brings back creeps to deal with to help deal with that Longhorn. He still has a lot of fort life left. He is trying to stack these creeps. He's trying to just get as much as he can when he pushes. Trying to stack creeps and send Longhorn and send the Dillos at the same time. It's so hard to get all those creeps stacked though, especially on Thar. Thar is one of the harder ones to do this on, especially because he's trying to get them stacked close to his fort. It's really difficult to do that. And the problem is they're not even going to go for the main. They are going to go for this outpost. And let's see what this is going to look like. There are too many armadillos and so many too many longhorns and a lot of patcher over here for Turkleton. And these creeps will just melt. EMP, and that's it. And once again, Ed is trying to just hit his power cap, or at least close to it, with armadillos. Does not get there yet. And just waiting, just biding his time. Turkleton not trying to dangerously push in because, again, Ed has all of his Dillos behind this bottleneck. But the weird thing is he is not really trying to... The way that he's sending them does result in more of a single file line rather than a glob of units. There are quite a lot of Dillo out here, actually, for him. But they're so spread out that whatever units they run into, whatever tanks and stuff they run into, they are going to get just killed really quick. Eddnamed's almost dead. Ed's almost dead. Ed's going to die. Oh, God. And Turk just exactly the same thing that's been happening this entire game. Especially with, like, this is like, I don't know, this is like the 4th or 5th push like this that's happened, and they just die on the way there. Ed respawning. Is that a Neo on steroids? No, this is a Neo under Turkleton's command, and that's what's happening here. Right now, mid is probably Ed's best shot. But again, so close to being killed and gets killed there. Turkleton is pretty much doing the optimal thing every time something happens. He, you know, gets a seeker queued. He's not just queuing Dillos. He's not just queuing, spamming Longhorns. He's not just spamming infantry. He's not just spamming grinders. He's doing exactly what needs to be done each time, playing it very safe and cautious, especially because Eddnamed is crazy at making comebacks. But dives face first into those Seekers, almost dies there. And we have finally hit overtime 2. Ed is sneaking over here in the back with some Dillos. Turkleton is probably... No, he does not choose to chase him down. He chooses to deal with the Armadillo first. But he does respond to Ed landing over here. And does do another EMP. Finishes Ed. And wow. Turkleton backdooring, dropping some tanks, and Ed's life is starting to go down pretty quick. Ed did drop at the front door. There are a couple units there. Ed is there to take care of it. That's the thing about a bomber being able to defend. If you put units close together, they're all just going to die at the same time. But Turkleton dropping his Longhorn in different locations. Ed's fort health is going down just much faster than the overtime rate. And Turkleton with the non-stop drops. And he can do it very well with this cloak. 1, 2 again. And putting it on the high ground in the back there, he does get direct shots off. It's very hard to block up there. However, Ed does manage to do it. Now, it's so close. Ed has a lot of units surrounding his outpost, or his fort. And Turkleton just bringing that is probably going to do it, and that is the end of the game. Turkleton takes this series 2 games to 0. This is RUI. That's game. See you next time.